Hello and welcome. Today I'm gonna talk about diets. So get ready and bring your best coffee that you've got. There are two types of diet, the one that work and the other one that doesn't. So there are main concepts that you should understand. The basal metabolic rate, BMR, and the calculations, and the BMI or body mass index. And to start, let us say that you are obese. And you should know that obesity is not your fault. It's of unknown reasons, some genetic, that you acquired this disease. And your body shifted the dial from expenditure to storage. There is hope as the medication are coming in the way, but even with medication, lifestyle changes are necessary to be done. On the basis of basal metabolic rate, you can determine your daily caloric intake under supervision, and the way is intermittent fasting. There is an application called MyFitnessPal which help in the calculation and the intermittent fasting. You decide, because as I said, there are some diet regimes that work and there are some which doesn't. There are many ways to do intermittent fasting, and the best way is to do it as the following. You choose 16 hours that you fast in, but you also have your water, coffee, and zero caloric intake in this period. So drink a lot of fluid. And there is the 8 hour period that in this period you consume the daily intake of your BMR or basal metabolic rate. So let's say you are requiring 1600 as me of daily caloric intake. So you divide it as two meals, 600 and 700 approximately of calories in the breakfast and in the lunch, and you skip the dinner or you skip the lunch and have breakfast and dinner or dinner and breakfast. So you got the idea. You have 16-hour period of fasting and 8 hour window of eating, and during this window you have your own restriction. After calculation and all this sort of things, you should know that exercise help in the process, but you should calculate the amount of exercise using Apple Watch or using any watch or method of tracking device that calculates your daily motion and your daily activity, and calculate the daily caloric exercises that you spent on, and you eat it in the fasting period and the non-fasting days. So you skip the fasting for completion of the caloric intake in the exercise days. There are some devices that calculates your fat percentage while holding a magnetic or holding a metallic handle. These devices are nice, and I used one of them so I can calculate my fat percentage and my loss of fat and loss of muscle too. So I started using whey protein, 2 scoops a day, to compensate for the protein intake. And I use also multi-supplement Centrum vitamin, so I don't lose many vitamins in the process. So intermittent fasting, daily protein intake, and vitamin intake with lots of fluid, and this caused me to lose about 5 kilos until now in 3 weeks period. So it's a good way to lose weight while um, preserving the muscle mass. Why I'm talking about my fitness pal or programs, because I've tried Noom, and it's concentrating on the psychological way of losing weight, and it didn't work for me because the application is lacking in sort of tracking the amount of macronutrients in the food. So MyFitnessPal tells me that I've consumed more carbs because I'm on low carb diet, and that more is more than the daily requirement. Also, it tells me about the fat percentage of the food, the protein intake. So it give me the dashboard, the general view of the nutrient intake, which is lacking in the other programs. I can scan a device, I scan by the device, by the iPhone, I scan the barcode of whatever I want to eat, and it calculates the food automatically. So I'm recording now. This is my fitness pal, and it shows the fasting 16 hours goal, and the breakfast I've had today: toasted cheddar cheese sandwich and protein shake, and also the dinner, the amount of calories that I've got, and the amount of carbs, fat, and tells me that the net carbs are 34 minus, and the calories are, so it tells me about the in the diary portion how much I've eaten and how much exercise is was done using the caloric, and I'll complete a diary for today. And if you every day were like today, in 5 weeks you'd weigh 76.9, so it's encouraging me to complete the daily. And this is the dashboard, this is the net heart healthy or fat healthy, and this is the calories, and this is the remaining, and this is the weight over the last 90 days. Each time I weigh, I check the weight, and this is the steps. So that's, in summary, that's the program I'm using, and I enjoyed it so much. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed the coffee, and you learned something new and important to know. I'm gonna talk about keto diets, Atkins diet, South Beach diet, and these diets that doesn't work. Why they doesn't work? Because it's not healthy in general for general population. There are some main reasons, um, which is the imbalance that it causes. The brain needs sugar to work, and the ketosis state of ketosis shift uh, the consumption into ketone bodies, so it alters the metabolism in your body. And for this reason, if you have exercise, you cannot function well with ketosis, especially high intensity interval training, which is the best way to exercise. You need some carbs to fuel your muscles and to keep your concentration. So these the low carb diets, especially the ketosis, the ketone body diets or Atkins diet, these are not easy to maintain for long time. And there is the other health hazard from the increase of fat and lipids, which I noted after a while from using the Atkins diet. My lipid profile was horrible because of that. So here in nutshell, why the other regimes doesn't work, why the intermittent fasting works, and how do you maintain that and maintain a healthy life. I wish you start to begin, or if you haven't started already, and start intermittent fasting. Peace.